What are you thinking with regards to the Bank of England? I mean, they gave us the announcement last week that they're upping all of their stimulus, essentially, but it's not going too well here on just day two.
I think it tells you something about investors' anxiety that the bank goes into the market and says, look, we want to buy these things from you, we're prepared to pay, you know, what looks like a good price, and they get the majority of what they want bought, but actually not everything. And I think that tells you that investors, despite being offered a good price, want to hang on to their gilts, which are this protection against, you know, further bad economic news and further deflation.
And I guess in the defense of the Bank of England as well, I mean, they almost reached target, and we're looking at some very, very quiet summer months at the moment as well. I mean, they were saying, well, you know, could have been different, basically, is the indication, had it been another month. I'm not sure whether or not that holds, or whether there's some seasonality to it as well.
I'm sure that's part of it, and I think it's also partly, you know, this is not, in a sense, the Bank of England didn't want to do this of its own volition. It was something they were forced to do, needed to do in light of the sort of Brexit vote. So I think in terms of timing, it wasn't in their control, and they may also wanted to send a signal. Maybe it's not unhelpful to them that the auction was underbought, because it's a signal that there remains strong demand for gilts.
Speaking of options, see what I did there? You're saying that there's a real difference in what to own and how to own it. How am I supposed to interpret this?
I think the challenge for an investor today, I mean, let's take US equities as an example.
Yeah.
We had an all-time high on Monday, yeah. And investors are saying, gosh, you know, I feel I want to own this market that continues to go up, and on the other hand, you know, I'm mindful that it's gone up a lot, and therefore am I going to be the last buyer? Am I going to look foolish? So just going and buying cash equities feels exciting and dangerous at the same time. And I think our message to them is there is an alternative, which is rather than buying cash equities, you express part of that through buying call options. Okay,
so the right to buy puts as well? Right to sell?
I think both work, but I think, you know, if you're an investor, for example, we had a client recently at CapGen that had a substantial amount of liquidity. They want to know what to do with it. They feel they should own equities, but they're worried about pricing, and our advice is, well, you can express part of that by buying call options.